Hi everyone, this is the dispatch for Thursday, May 6th. We changed to a new psalm today, Psalm 31. This will be our psalm through Sunday. And then our Old Testament reading is from Genesis chapter 12. Starting at the beginning of that chapter, that is the transition from the primeval history, which is actually what is currently the focus of my sermon series, into the history of Israel as a nation, as a people. And it begins with the story of Abraham. So this is the beginning of the whole Abraham narrative, which will take up probably about a quarter of the book of Genesis. And here it is God calling Abram. He's not yet been renamed Abraham. God is calling Abram to leave his home, to take all of his belongings, to leave his family and go. God doesn't tell Abram where he's going. God just asks him to go. And then we have this statement, which is probably one of the most succinct statements in all of Scripture for the purpose of God choosing a people. God chooses Abraham and his descendants. God chooses to bless them so that they might be a blessing, so that all families of the earth might be blessed through him. There are many times in Scripture and also in the life of faith where we might ask ourselves, why does God choose some and not others? This is sort of gets to that Presbyterian idea of predestination. If some are predestined for salvation, then what about all the rest? And we call that election in the Christian Protestant tradition. But here is maybe one way to look at that God chooses for the sake of all. God chooses this one man, this one particular family, this one particular people, so that they might be the source of God's blessing for all families of the earth, for everyone. All of that packed into just a few verses here at the beginning of the Abraham story. And for our New Testament passage, we go to the book of Acts. This is a continuation of the gospel narrative beyond the life of Jesus and into the life of the church. And here we're talking about Stephen. Stephen was the first deacon of the Christian church. Once the church got up and running, the church decided that the apostles, the 12, they didn't have the bandwidth to address the needs of their own, the needs of the church, of the family of God. And so they appointed deacons. And deacon comes from the Greek word for servant or even slave. And Stephen was the first deacon. He will also become the church's first martyr. But that's not part of this story. That's a couple chapters down the road in Acts, and I don't know that we're going to get to that, at least right now, in the lectionary. But for the time being, we see Stephen doing amazing things as a vehicle of the church's ministry. And tomorrow we'll spend more time with Stephen as well. That's it for today. I hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.